Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about stress and our mental health. So now, what is stress? You ask yourself, what is stress? So stress is defined as any type of change that causes physical, emotional and psychological strain to an individual. Now stress is your body's response to anything that requires attention or action. Now, truth be told, everybody experiences stress at one point in their life or the other. Now, regardless of age, everybody could be stressed at a point in time. As an adult, when they go to work, come back home, doing so many things. The stress of going to work alone, the stress at work, can make an individual come back home very tired and fatigued. Now, I'm sure some parents will be like, children don't go through stress. It's not true. Everybody have some degrees to stress which they face. As students going to school, studying, trying to be among the best in your class, it's a different degree of stress. As kids, even kids playing around, trying to do something to please your parents, that, oh, okay, let me help my parents do this, let me help them change the sheets, let me help them sweep the room, let me help them let me do something that will make them happy. Everything contributes to stress in an individual's life one way or the other. So we all go through stress at a point or at some point in our lives. Sometimes the best way to manage your stress as an individual involves changing your situation. Change where you are that is eliciting the stress or the stressant, whatever it may be. And just sometimes you can't change your situation. Of course, there are life events. You might not be able to change your situation, but another time is best strategy involves changing the way you respond to this situation. So the first one I said was that you can either change the situation. In cases where you're unable to change the situation, you can change your response to those situations. Having a clear understanding of how stress impacts your physical health and your mental health is very crucial. It's very important to us. We need to take note of that and stop pushing it to the side like it's irrelevant. We need to understand how it affects us, our overall well-being, and even our mental health. This is very important. Now, it's also important to recognize how your mental health and physical health affect your stress level. Now, it's not just this way. You could be having something around you that triggers stress, like the way I said, change your situation or you change your response to the situation. There are sometimes your physical health might be what, and your mental health might be affecting your stress level. If you are down emotionally, or you are going through one chronic illness or an activity which you are going through, or a situation you are going through, this can increase your stress level. And there are sometimes your stress level increases your physical and mental health. It affects it. It goes vice versa. Your stress can depreciate your physical and mental health, and your physical and mental health can increase an individual stress level. So what are the signs of stress in an individual? How do you know these are the signs of stress? So stress can be like they will tell you, it could be acute, chronic or severe. Some people will tell you it could be short term, long term based. So we should all know that stress can lead to varieties of so many symptoms, so many signs. But chronic stress or severe stress in that sense can take a serious toll on an individual's overall health and can have long-term lasting effects on an individual's health. So now I'm going to be talking about common signs of stress in an individual. So a common sign of stress we have in an individual is definitely mood change in mood. Like we talked about mood disorder earlier. So it's a change in mood, stress level. You see people, okay, you can see your parents when they go to work and they're coming back home in the night and you're like, no, they are not in the mood. So stress level can have an effect on individual's mood. Some people will go to class because the class was hectic all through the day. They come back not smiling. They are not even in the mood for any small talks. So you can see the signs by changing an individual's mood. We have sweaty palms. Some people get sweaty on their palm or under their feet. It's a sign of stress, increase in an individual's stress level. We can have diarrhea. Stress affects people in various areas. We have insomnia, which is difficulty sleeping. Some people have digestive problems. Some might have eating disorders, can develop some eating disorders due to increase in stress level. We have dizziness, lightheadedness, feeling of anxiety, anxious, frequent sickness, headaches. Frequent sickness is very important because you could be working 1 minute and you're like your body can't take it again. Your body can't take it again. So there are various symptoms of stress level in an individual. We usually also have increase in an individual's heart rate. Yeah, we have increase in an individual's heart rate. That's palpitation. We have low energy or fatigue. An individual just is exhausted because it leads to burnout. Stress could lead to an individual's burnout. You are just out of it, which could also lead to sickness. It could lead to muscle tension, especially in neck and shoulder. You see them always rubbing, and you discover that these whole places are being affected in an individual's body. We also have trembling. Stress level can affect people in different ways. The signs and symptoms can come in different ways. You could say I have all these symptoms, but I don't think I'm stressed. So how can you identify when you are stressed and when you just feel like you're just tired? It's not stress. So now we could understand this. How does it feel like? How do you know it's a stress? This it you've had it to the peak. So it can come out in different ways, but it's not every time that stress is very easy to recognize. An individual might be getting stressed or be in a stressful situation and might not even recognize that fact. So now we should understand that it's good to identify some signs that you might be going through stress, because some little things we feel like it's not so relevant could actually be taking a huge toll on your mind and your body. Don't forget, your mind and your body is very important, which is your physical health and your mental health. So we have various signs. So I'm going to give you 4 basic signs, which is psychological sign, emotional sign, physical sign, and behavioral sign. So now, what psychological signs will you know that, oh, I'm going through stress? We have psychological signs like cognitive aspects. You're going to have difficulty concentrating, difficulty making an informed decision. You could have worrying, you could have anxiety, and you could even have trouble recollecting or remembering informations or events that yes, you're getting stressed. So this is a few psychological signs you might experience as individuals. We also have emotional signs. So I'm going to give you some signs which an individual might experience. We have anger, we have irritability. The person gets very moody or frustrated, and this usually take toll in their actions. They tend to exhibit it with physical symptoms. You get so another physical sign we have to show that an individual is going through stress or a stressful event is a physical sign. The physical signs, and which is high blood pressure. An individual might going through high blood pressure, change in weight, frequent cold or frequent infection, basically because your immune system goes low, and changes in even a menstrual cycle of an individual. We also have behavioral signs, and behavioral signs may include poor self-esteem. An individual might not have time for any other thing they enjoy doing, basically that they derive pleasure in doing. They might not have time to do all that. They start to rely on substances or drug. I know someone that you just have to use drugs to go to work. You need to take time to take note of all this so it doesn't lead to burnout in an individual, and you need to take note of all this, basically. So if you discover that you have to use drugs, alcohol, drinks to cope in an environment or a situation, you might be getting very worked up or stressed. So you need to take note of all this. So we might ask, what could even cause all this stress? Now, there's no particular cause that you say, okay, this is just the cause of stress. It's various factors that can lead to stress in an individual's life. We have some main causes of stress is relationship, academics, parenting, finance. Yeah, finance is a huge cause of stress to individuals. Day-to-day inconveniences, work, so many things can affect an individual and cause stress in a person. Not all type of stress could be harmful to an individual, so I'm going to be giving a few types of stress an individual can go through. So we have the acute stress. So now, acute stress is a very short-term type of stress an individual could experience, and it could be either positive, basically, because it's usually the type of stress we encounter in our day-to-day activities. So it's kind of like part of you that, oh, okay, because I'm going on the road and there's traffic, you're worked up, you're getting stressed. Those are few. That's an example of what an acute stress could seem like. You're going on the road and something happened on the road and the road is blocked. You couldn't go through that part again. You have to go round, reroute, and everything. That could make an individual worked up because you're working against time, that you don't want to be late for work or anything. So that could lead to an acute stress. The type of stress we go through day to day based on our day-to-day activities. So another type of stress is what we call chronic stress. Chronic stress is a stress that an individual which has to go through, which is like never ending. There's no visible end to this type of stress an individual go through. So an illustration of that is a person working a job. This job is very stressful and you feel like quitting every minute, every second of the day. But the pay could be so good that you know if you leave this, you might not get a better one. So it's something you just have to face. So many things, or a traumatic events that happen in an individual's life. A traumatic event that happened in an individual's life, you can't erase the past, basically. So it's something that it's never ending in that sense. So that's an example of chronic stress individuals could or would have gone through. So we have the third type, which is called the eustress. Now this is what we call the positive type of stress. It's the type of stress that energizes you to do more. It's kind of being positively reinforced. It's like you have it's associated. Eustress is usually associated with surge of adrenaline, like feeling of energy, being energized, basically, such as when you are running a race, you want to get to the end before any other person, then you're having eustress. It's a stressful event, but as it's going to have a positive outcome, so people look forward to the outcome. People see more of the outcome than the stress in itself. So it's kind of like a positive stress. Like you have an exam and you know the exam is by 2 o'clock and you have to study. Now you are stressed, but you know that it's going to have a positive outcome, especially when you know that, oh yes, you're studying the right thing and this is what's going to come out. So you know it's going to have a positive outcome for it. So now, how do you cope with stress? Now we shall know that there's some type of stress in our lives that are inevitable. So it is very good for us to understand how to manage these stressful events or stressful conditions. You need to understand them and how to manage them better. So we need to learn to recognize the sign of burnout. We need to try and recognize it, that, oh, okay, you are getting emotionally exhausted. You need to try and take note of all these events, signs that you can't handle it anymore. You need to take note of them before you get burned out as an individual. You need to have regular exercises to relieve your physical, take physical activities to relieve your mind. And these have exercises have impacts on both your brain and your body. So it's very good for you to exercise yourself. Try and get regular exercise. It help relieve stress. You also need to take care of yourself. You need to put yourself first in everything you are doing. Take regular self-care activities. Take care of yourself, basically, and put self-care into your daily life. You just need to put self-care into your daily life. Learn how to care for both your body, your soul, and your mind. Equip yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. just equip yourself. Basically, that's just the main goal, to care for your tripartite nature of man, which is your body, your mind, and your soul. You need to take care of it. We also have, you need to practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness in your life. You should be cautious. So thank you guys very much for watching stress and how it affects our self as a whole, and how to cope with stress and the types of stress. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you picked one or two things: how to cope with stressful events, how to be mindful, basically. So I'm so glad you were able to reach the end of this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, share with friends, share with family. See you next time. Bye.